Yay! Tiffany is here. Gav is here. Lori's here. Aline is on Facebook. Aline, do you want to join on Zoom? You can stay on Facebook if you want. Julie's on Facebook. Okay. So first thing, my heart is about the size of this room from just the amazing work, the amazing research, and the amazing vision of this company. Guys, the vision is so much bigger than what we've even thought in terms of philanthropy and really changing healthcare. They showed, I think it's like 3 more locations of actual clinics that they are building where doctors will be using holistic care and oils paired with Western medicine. They brought in like guys, when you go to convention next year, you're just crying the whole time. Like I just was always on the edge of tears from all of the amazing work they're doing. And they bring in, I think it's Bill Tallard, is that his name, Tiff, from Underground Railroad? This man was working in the U.S. He was like an undercover. Anyway, he's working for the U.S. Like military or something governmental, and he wanted to really make an impact in stopping sex trafficking. But working for the government, you can't really do that because you don't have jurisdiction to go into other countries, for example. So he quit that job and started this NGO called Underground Railroad. You can follow him on Instagram. You can Google it. Anyways, doTERRA is a huge partner. And I think the most amazing thing they showed was the aftercare facility that they are building in Haiti for all the victims of sex slavery. These are like little kids, like 8 years old, 12 years old, that are often held in fake orphanages. And this guy, Bill Tallard, will go in and do these sting operations and rescue them. And he was there last year too. So he's one of doTERRA is one of their biggest supporters. And then I want to say Kaffa House, but I think it might be Haffa House, is the company that actually builds these aftercare facilities. So there's just like so much heart. Yeah, thank you. Gab found it. It's on Instagram. It's Our Rescue, OUR Rescue. So amazing. Like I could tell like 5 more of these stories. Book you have to get is Left to Tell by the woman who survived the Rwandan genocide and was locked in a bathroom for 3 months. In which case, instead of being angry at the tribe members that were murdering her whole family, she decided to learn English and inspire people to like find God and find forgiveness. And she spoke, and the founders are going and helping her rebuild schools in various places around the world. So you really just feel the heart of the founders. And I think it's so important because doTERRA is such a huge mammoth like company. It's easy to think like, oh, are they just this corporate beast or this giant? And not at all. These people are like the nicest, caring people, and they listen to us. So if there are things that you want done, just ask them. And what's really cool, when you buy your convention ticket, they ask like, what's the number one thing you want to learn? So my thing that I'm always like pushing them on is like, can we use less plastic? Like, is there a way? And they will spend the money, guys. It is not cheap or economical for them to do the co-impact sourcing. Like it would be much better for them to not do that, right? But they are willing to do what is expensive and what is the right thing to do. So like anything that you want to refine, just ask them. So anyways, so when you get your convention ticket, you can write what you want to learn about. And they really, they listen. Do you guys want to see the new oils? I know many of you saw them all already online, but I'm just going to go through. Oh, and Tiffany has put the links on the Zoom call to Immaculée. Yeah, spoke of her experience in the Rwandan genocide. So how it works when you get there, the first day is all the new releases, the second day is science, and then the third day is a lot of the healing hands and the philanthropic moves. So the first day we arrived, I'm just going to do off the top of my head, not even with my notes, just what I remember from the presentation. And then I'm going to be coming with a lot more in-depth info. What Elena suggested to us at the dinner, oh my God, she was so generous. I think how many of us, she couldn't invite everyone this year, whereas last year, like her whole team was invited, but there were just too many people. So I think it was just like silvers and up, and there were hundreds and hundreds of people. No, maybe, yeah, like probably like 200 people for dinner that her and Marcy just treated us all for dinner. It was really amazing. So what she suggested was take like 3 products per week, and just get to know them in depth. So let's start with the beautiful body mist, which has lime, sunflower oil, osmanthus flower, bergamot, frankincense, avocado oil. It is not recommended before UV exposure because of the citrus oils in it. So this is a after the shower, after coming in at the end of the day. It smells amazing, and it just goes on so smooth and silky. And I don't know if you guys have smelled beautiful, but it smells exactly like that blend. And we were just waiting for something like this. Oh, and Susan is on too. Look at all these pros. Next guys, the Copaiba. I'm muting someone there. Next is the Copaiba soft gels. This is so amazing because some people don't like the taste of Copaiba, and when it's in a soft gel, it's mixed with some olive oil, so it will just be a bit more of a slow ingestion. And Marissa, I know this is what you're excited about because you wanted to take Copaiba internally, but you couldn't stand the taste. So this takes care of that problem. And the thing that they don't have, because everyone complains about it, Cannagen. Tiffany, can you verify the name? Or Aline? I know you were on there. Aline,
it's called carrageenan.
Carrageenan, exactly.
Carrageenan.
Yeah. So carrageenan is a substance that everyone gets all up in arms about. Apparently, it's not that bad for you, but because so many people were complaining about the carrageenan, they took it out. But Dr. Hill was kind of being a little spicy. He was like, guys, I hope you like tapioca because that's what you're eating carrageenan when you eat that. And I hope you like ice cream because you're eating carrageenan when you eat that. So, and he's like, the amount of it was so small. Anyways, there's no carrageenan, so you can promote it as carrageenan free for all the people that are anti-carrageenan. Next is Magnolia, and just the benefits of Copaiba, guys. We need to be taking this every single day for pain, for mood, for cellular health. This is an everyday, daily habit, daily ritual. Inflammation, so good. Next we got Magnolia, which are big, beautiful white flowers. It's from China. I'm going to be totally honest with you. It's not my favorite smell. It smells like Console to me, and I don't like Console. Is anyone else?
Sorry, Jen, I have to jump in here because I love Magnolia. I put it on and was like, oh my God.
It's
so good.
And do you like Console?
I do like Console, but yeah. I'm also a grief therapist, so I really like Console.
Console's my jam. Yeah, I mean, look, some people adore it, love it. It's not my favorite, but any flower, it is amazing for skin. So good. Okay, next, guys, this is my all-time favorite of everything. Is pink pepper. I'm obsessed with black pepper, but pink pepper is the softer kind of black pepper. And I have to tell you the story about this. That was me. The story. There's some funny feedback. What's happening? Oh, I'm going to mute you, Julie. It keeps going off mute. Are you wanting to say something? No. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the new black.
Yes, it is. So good. So pink pepper sourced in Kenya, guys. They told the story of Veronica, who's a woman probably much younger than most of us on this call. She has 5 kids, and her husband, I forget what his job was, but he died in a car accident. So to feed her family, she started trying to make these little ropes out of reeds. Like, it's like really sad. She's like basically taking these plants, braiding the fibers, selling them in the town. Most of the people at first are buying them from her because they just feel bad for her. But then after a while, they're like, we're not going to buy these from you anymore. So she tries to sell them to truck drivers. The truck drivers would not buy them, but they would buy something else from her. So she has started losing her dignity and prostituting herself to feed her family. It's around this time that the local manager of sourcing, Kigo, which is his last name, he's a local Kenyan, and he's working with doTERRA. He sees Veronica and her friends sitting on a street curb, and he says, hey, are you guys looking for work and honest work? And he says, if you can climb these trees and harvest the pink pepper, which I think is actually, it's a berry that hardens, but that might not be correct. So wait until I do my in-depth research. Anyways, it looks like a berry. If you can harvest these, you'll get a good wage and you'll have like a good job to do that. So on her first day, I think she climbed this tree, and it was something like a huge amount, a huge bag, like kilos and kilos of this pink pepper. And in her previous work, I think she'd been making like $1 a day. And doing this work, she's making like $15 a day, which still doesn't sound like a lot by our standards, but is way more than what she was making. She doesn't have to prostitute herself. And the last update was that she had actually hired an employee to help her with the harvesting and sourcing. So this is what you're getting when you're getting pink pepper. It's sourced in Kenya and in Peru. So in 2 really poor countries, and really good to take internally. Zoe, I know you're going to love pink pepper. It's so good to take internally. Oh, I realize I don't have my green mandarin here. Okay, the next oil we got is green mandarin. It's in one of my bags, but it's an amazing, amazing citrus, and it won't make your skin photosensitive. So it's like one of the citruses you can actually put on your skin because it has to do with, I think it's like unripe mandarins. So just the way that the constituents work, yeah, I'm getting a nod. It won't make your skin photosensitive. This is my favorite, yarrow and palm. So they have put the yarrow essential oil in pomegranate oil because pomegranate oil has nutritional benefits. And the yarrow has, so essential oils have no nutritional benefits. It's purely on like a cellular support. Makes sense? Like we're not getting like food from it. But from palm oil, there is. And it's blue, like, because it has the chamazoline in it. So it makes it blue, like blue tansy. And this is how you take it. You take 1 drop on your tongue like this. It's going to make my teeth blue probably. It comes out really slow. Like that. And guys, it's like, you just feel it in your brain. It's totally amazing. I can't remember right now where yarrow is from. Do you remember, Tiffany or Aline? Oh, wait, you're muted. 1 sec. No. Did you say no?
I'm drawing blank.
Yeah, I'm totally drawing a blank. I think it was just like all the science around yarrow, but it's exciting. This is just the sneak peek. We got mouthwash. It's On Guard, and it's so good. So you don't have to make your own anymore. It's alcohol free, and it has. I was just making my own with sodium bicarbonate, but now you don't have to make it anymore. And then the next one, which is actually in my kitchen, is turmeric, which is so exciting. It smells so good. It is amazing in matcha lattes. in water, just like taking the plane yesterday. I was just like drinking turmeric, and there's different benefits to the actual powder, and really amazing benefits. And is yarrow a blend? No, it's literally just yarrow essential oil with the pomegranate seed oil. So it's a blend in that sense, but it's not a blend of oils. So those are the new releases. And I wanted Aline to speak and share some things, and maybe Tiffany, think in your mind as well if there were some like, 3 or 4 things that you want to share, 1 or 2. But the rigor this year, like, I don't know what it was, but I think they just really want to show the transparency and the rigorous testing. So the scientists that they brought on the panels, like, all of them were like so high level that like I couldn't understand a lot of it. So I'm literally going to have to rewatch the recording with a dictionary, because it's like, if you imagine all these PhDs in biochemistry and so forth, they're used to like presenting in academic conferences, not to people with like grade 11 chemistry. I was like, what are they talking about? Even Dr. Hill was like super highbrow this time. So like, I wish I could explain to you the science. I can't do that today. All I know is that they were just explaining like how rigorous the testing was, how what I did get is that their methods are just like, nothing is getting through, that like any impurity will be detected. And what's really exciting is that there's going to be more and more empirical peer-reviewed studies coming out on essential oils, which will just make our jobs a lot easier, because they're going to be more, people will understand more and more that it's like real medicine and really understand the benefits. So the source that you want to check out is the Aromatic Plant Research Center. That's the APRC. And they are the huge research center that do a lot of the testing and have all these scientists doing testing on essential oils. And they, from what I saw, Aline's here, yay. From what I saw is they are doing seminars. So I don't know if they're only in person in Salt Lake City or if they are online. So this is what I'm going to look at, but that can be a great place. I really just felt this passion to want to dive into my understanding of the chemical constituents, just because next year at convention, like, I want to know what they're saying. I want to understand it. But there is an amazing like science and chemistry to understand, which is just cool. It could make you feel even more confident around that. And one cool thing, if you guys go next year, you could do a campus tour and you can see where everything is bottled. But actually my favorite part was seeing all the founders' offices. And it was just like, it's just so exciting, because they mortgaged their homes. They started like, it was literally Emily Wright and Dave Sterling like bottling oils by themselves, like in their living room. And now they just have these like giant offices overlooking these like gorgeous mountains. And you can see the work. And when we did the campus tour on Wednesday, Maddie saw a deodorant and she was like, there's a new deodorant coming out. So we had an idea. I'm going to open it up to either Tiff or Aline, who was there with me, and just maybe what were your favorite parts? I know I'm leaving out so much.
I'll chime in. So you mentioned the one, carrageenan, and that was a big thing that I was excited about, because I have not done a lot of our soft gels and our products that have it in there. But the fact that the Copaiba, by the way, they've mentioned Copaiba and Copaiba. Yeah. They use those pronunciations interchangeably. So if you're somebody like me who's trying to figure out how to say it, I think it's just kind of, there's 2 different sayings. So go with whatever one you feel more comfortable with, and you got people backing you up on it. Awesome. But yeah, I mean, Dr. Hill, he was excited to announce it for everybody, but he really was kind of like rolling his eyes a little bit, because the thing that he said that stood out to me was if you guys have a serving of ice cream, you're going to have more carrageenan in that than you will ever have in all of the doTERRA products that you could ever consume. So the ratio kind of put it in perspective. But I did appreciate that they are using tapioca instead of the carrageenan for the Copaiba. And I was over in the product showcase area, which to me, I thought was the most valuable aspect of the whole conference. They had, it was like a doTERRA museum.
Yeah.
They had every single product out. They had their scientists out so that you could go and speak directly to them. They still were very compliant with what they could say. But I've really been trying to understand a little bit more of the science behind the oils, but get super overwhelmed with even our chemistry book that's supposed to be the dumbed down version. I don't know what that says about me, but whatever. So the fact that we were able to talk to the scientists was great. And I heard one of them say that the Copaiba soft gels are kind of like a test or a pilot to see how the production and the packaging and all that stuff does with the tapioca. And then if that continues to go well, then they will likely transition the other products to go carrageenan free, which makes sense. You know, like if you're changing the formula of one, you don't want to go guns blazing and change all of them and then find out that there's an issue with it. So try it with the new product. If there's an issue, you just correct that. And then once they kind of get it down, then they'll roll it out further. I personally am not going to make a big splash about it because then I feel like it raises the question that, well, wait a minute, it's still in your other products. So secretly I'm excited. I'm going to try the soft gels, but then I don't think I'm going to like make a big deal about it publicly because then, like I said, then people will look at it and they're like, but it's still in here. So that was a big excitement that that's something that they're looking to, that they're actively rolling out. And just as you said, Jen, they really do listen. Like Dr. Hill doesn't agree with this, but he's like, this is what you guys have asked for. We found a good substitute. So we're trying it out with this. So it almost felt like this I don't think this is going to come out right, but like they answer to us or we have just as much of a seat at the table as the executives do. So that was kind of a cool feeling there. And the other thing with the scientist, I was kind of trying to get a little bit more of those questions answered. From my perspective, I really wanted to understand how they work in the body, and essentially what I was hearing is that they know they work in the body. They don't 100% know the pathways in which why they work in the body, but they just created a model that can be used on the computer that allows them to understand the pathways in a much more in-depth way. So it was kind of like this big breakthrough that they were molecular docking, I think it's called. So they are the #1 company for research. And I think it was like they far exceed all the other companies combined. So the fact that we are the most research-based, we're really progressive in what we're finding. And what this ultimately leads to is being able to have more of the information to have those conversations with physicians who are kind of like shunning it now of like, you guys don't have hard enough research. We're actively getting more of that so that they can have more of an integrative approach with the physicians. So that was really exciting. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, you mentioned a lot of it. The other, just like from a culture perspective, this was my first convention. I was a little nervous as far as like how much is everyone drinking Kool-Aid around here? Like, is everyone just like feeding off of this hype or like So I wasn't quite sure, but not a single person at the conference asked me what rank I was. Not a single person was talking about revenue or how many clients they had or how much they're paid. Nobody talks about that. Everyone was talking about the oils. Everyone was talking about their story as far as how they got started in it. And I think when you have a culture around that, that's why it works. One of the executives said on stage, if you are in this for the money, you will fail.
Totally.
And I was like, sweet, I like hearing this. And they said that they want to be the network marketing company out there that gets the most people out of debt. Because when you're out of debt, you can live the life that you want to live, and you're in a position to be able to give back. And to hear that they were giving back before they were even breaking even, I think that speaks a lot to their integrity, that they were like, no, this is something that means a lot to us. And then the other last thing I'll share is I have a lot of people who ask kind of like on the side, they're like, so I already bought a thing of Young Living. What do you think of those oils? And I've always had such compassion because they've invested in something, and I don't want to discourage them because essential oils are good. But it really stood out to me that 7 executives stepped away from an organization where they were very well positioned. They all had families. They all had, I'm sure, big expensive homes, and they walked away from a lot. So even though they won't share what happened, that really raises a big question to me as far as like what's going on with their products that they felt so compelled to step away from it. I think it was more like ethical reasons or whatever it may be. But then to see that they stepped away from that and then they built a company that was so research based and giving back right away from the get-go, that just, it feels so good to be aligned with a company like this. And now I don't feel as bad when somebody else asks me about the comparison. Thankfully they didn't give us any information that like we can't repeat. They've kept that hush hush, which again to me speaks so highly of their integrity. So yeah, that's my dump.
No, they totally subtly sort of said like, we care about research over profit, or we like, and they just sort of hinted at things that maybe had been happening in the previous company. They're very classy and very good about it, but you can sort of like read between the lines a little bit, which is really amazing considered they were getting slammed with like a lawsuit for the last like 2 years, right? They were being sued by Young Living, and then they won. And I think one guy, because like a lot of people present, not only the founders, and one guy was like, well, what did he say? Like the courts say it all, So I think they've been through a lot with that, and they like came out, good on the other side.
They also had a scientist. I was just going to say, they also had an independent scientist that was showing research of the comparison of our products versus company like A, B, and C, or 1, 2, and 3. Yeah. And they said, okay, but we do also realize that, company 1, 2, and 3, like they're a lower price point. So we know that we're obviously going to be a higher quality than, hang on one second, than the cheaper companies. But let's look at company 4. This is one that's pretty comparable to us. So like, it was like, okay, we can't say the name, but you can, again, read between the lines. And the comparison of the oils was off. I mean, our products were so much better. And that really surprised me. And I think that one was specifically with the Copaiba.
Yeah, that surprised me too. Yeah. No, that was really clear. And what you spoke to about doing it for a bigger vision, Emily Wright, I always want to call her Emily Haynes. Emily Wright she always finishes convention with she closes it with like a super inspirational story. This year she wasn't too emotional, thank God, because I'd been crying way too much. She kept it pretty light, but she just showed this really cute video from their Italy trip when they went canyoning. And it was like really hilarious that she's like a very brave, badass woman, and just her like unable to jump off the cliff into the water, like just so scared. It's like really cute. And she was like, this is like 10 minutes of everyone like trying to get her to jump off this cliff. And then, so they went down a few more and she couldn't. And then there was a presidential diamond with her, which I can't remember her name, but went to Emily and she was like, Emily, you have to jump off this cliff because you are my leader and I look up to you and I have to see that you are able to step into the unknown. And as soon as that woman said that to Emily, Emily jumped off the cliff right away. And it just speaks to like who they are. They're just so about like a greater vision. And I'm totally going to sound like woo woo guys. I was like lying in bed with Chris being like, I just feel like I'm doing God's work. He's like, can you not say that? And I know like, that's just maybe not like the culture in our relationship or this part of the world. And many people feel that way and it's really beautiful. But when I was like so anchored into like, who am I helping? Like what's happening? I was just journaling on it and meditating on it in the mornings on Sunday morning. And that's when people were just writing me, like people I hadn't heard from in a while. And they were like on the fence about the kits and they're like, okay, I just want to get it. And I just feel like, and there's things I'm trying to do with subletting my apartment. And then just the person that like exactly for the dates that I want is showing up. So I just feel that like when you get into that alignment and you're just so connected to that bigger vision, things really fall into place. And I'll be honest, I'm not an Emily Wright yet. Like I just look up to her so much. I want to be her. I get into my little world of like, I want to earn this and I want to get that. And I get rigid and tight. And this convention just like softened me so much into this greater vision that I just feel like in such a flow. I think that might be the biggest gift of convention. And even when, you know, you can sort of see things on stage and even be like, there's always like a part of my mind, like how much of this is orchestrated or this, but then when Aline and I were in the product center and this woman is like bawling, talking to one of the doctors there and because he just talks about the importance of being a physician that really gets to know the patient and she's just bawling about these clinics and the change that they're making in her life. So it's like, it's really real. It's just like, it's too good to be true. It's like, you know, it's just the biggest gift it's just the biggest gift. And I haven't even scratched the surface of it all, but we're coming up to 10 a.m. So I want to open to questions. And Tiffany, if you want to share some of your like favorite moments.
Yeah, just quickly. So this is my second year at convention.
Yeah.
And I shared this with you, Jen, but I was nervous. I was nervous to go back, even though I knew what to expect. And as soon as the music turned on the first day, I just exhaled and was like, this is what I came back for. There's nothing like the energy of being in that space, and of being around people who are so accepting and, you know, they're just trying to do the best for themselves, for their families, for their loved ones. And it's really, really beautiful. It's really beautiful. So if you have an opportunity to go, I also told Jen that like, even if I didn't do the business, I would go there every year. Aline and like Jen both spoke on this, but the company is so accessible. So accessible. The leaders, the information. They talk that now their oils are 96% exclusive now. Yeah. So what does that mean? It means that the land and the farmers and the places in the world where they're producing the oils and accessing the oils, they're only selling to doTERRA. doTERRA is the only ones that are working with those farmers, the only ones that are accessing those plants. It's incredible. And one thing that Corey, he's the CFO of the company, Lindley, I think. Yeah. He was like, you know, there's a lot easier ways that we could be getting the oils. We could be having our own farms. We could be making them all in the US because that would be a lot easier, but that goes against the integrity of why they started this company. So going to all of these places around the world, helping all of these people, it's not easy, but it is why they're doing this. Mm-hmm. And that really spoke to me.
Totally.
So yeah, those are the things that stood out. Oh, everything stood out. I mean, guys, Hugh Jackman was there. It was amazing.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman was a sweetheart. Yeah,
he was lovely.
Zoe's asking, sorry, how many drops of are in the capsules of Copaiba? And I don't know, but I'm guessing one, but it doesn't actually say on the bottle. So I'll have to find out and get back to you. Sorry, were you going to say something else, Tiffany?
Nope, I'm good.
Awesome. Okay, it's always like last thing. So Gina, I talked about this a bit yesterday, but Gina, who is a presidential diamond now, she just shared like how she had to rebuild her diamond leg. I think it was 5 times. So if you're not sure what that means, just imagine that to get to diamond, you need 4 silvers. So you have your 3 silvers to be platinum, and then her 4th just kept like dropping off, like would build and then didn't want to build anymore. And then another person would come in and they didn't want to build anymore. She probably was starting new every time and having to rebuild it. And meanwhile, all her friends and family who she enrolled, they're all getting to like blue diamond, presidential, and they're all surpassing her. And she talked that one of the biggest shifts that she made that made it actually work was she had been spending 80% of her time with her team and 20% recruiting new people. And then she switched it to 80% of new recruitment and 20% with her team. And I just feel like I'm so glad she said that, because I know myself, like I love you guys. Like I could just get on a Zoom call every single day with you guys and just like talk about oils. It's like, I think it could be really easy to fall into that, especially, I said this yesterday, especially our team that's like really, many of our strengths are in the relational fields. Like we're like yoga teachers and therapists and health coaches. Like we just like love that stuff. And it just really clued into me that if you want to go for it, if you want to get to presidential and blue diamond, that really understanding that you are going to get all of that connectivity and helping, like you will get to do that on incentive trips and connect with your cross-line leaders and trips to Italy. Like you will get to do such amazing connection mindset work far beyond what we would be doing here on the ground if you really are disciplined with yourself and make everything scalable or duplicatable. So really be super smart with your time. And Eric Worre says it, like when you're bringing a builder in, really your job is to like do a turnaround. And this is like, it's kind of bad, but when you think of really successful restaurants, and if you've ever heard this, like one of the statistics is like the restaurants that are able to turn you around as quickly as possible, that have their, like the food will come out fast, the thing will come out fast so that more people can come through the tables. Like that's a business strategy that we have to think of too, that really we're bringing people in and then we are launching them. And even like Marcy and Elena, like they were like, yeah guys, we love having you here, but next year there has to be at least 5 teams hosting their own dinners and we don't even get together, like fire us, and that's really the model that we need to adopt. And the way to do it is just to use the tools that exist. So create like a structure for people and just like send them to YouTube and really teach them to be autonomous. And like I said, just teach them the very, because what I find isn't maybe so easy for people to find are these very core foundational things, like what is LRP and what is co-impact sourcing and what is healing hands and what was the other one I wanted to know? And what is certified pure therapeutic grade? Like, this is what I'll be working on. And you should all do this for your teams too. Like these main things are like the first conversations you're having with people. Mindset is everywhere. And we love mindset and definitely talk about it, but send them to The Big Leap, send them to Deb Erickson, really empower them to not rely on you and really trust that those unicorns, those star builders, those people are just going to like run with you. Like they are going to show up if your energy is freed up to receive them and trust that. So that's really, if you want to like majorly rank advance this year, it's certainly, that's, I think you guys know, like that's the edge that I'm working on. And I think it's a good practice to get into that. But then also to be really kind to yourself and not compare yourself to the people that are rank advancing so fast, because sometimes there's just things you got to figure out and it might just take a little while longer. Yeah. Are there questions now? I'll take us till 10. About anything to do with convention and the business or the new products. No, all good. Is anyone watching the live stream this week? Oh yeah, so the new product's available in October. The convention kit, I have Susan, I have yours here. Here, I'll go get the convention kit so you can see what it's like when you buy it. It like comes in this gorgeous thing. I had to open it, Susan, because I didn't check it. I had it on my carry-on and I couldn't get the the body mist through on the plane. So I opened it. I think I just took the body mist out, but it looks like this. Woo! Oh my, I didn't even talk about the kids line. Oh my goodness. Guys, I didn't even talk about the kids line, for goodness sake. But this is it. Can you see it? So cool. And any mamas out there who have any fear about like using oils or judgment from other moms, hi Susan, this is your kit. Are you so excited?
So good, so excited, yay.
Yeah, you can come get it this afternoon if you want.
Okay. I'll text.
Yeah, text me. But yeah, guys, this kids line, oh, it's so cute. It comes on these little carabiners. And,
oh, that's great.
And these little, like, so cute. They have these little, it's like head, heart, or mind, body, heart. And they have like this little legend. So like when you see the little brain, you know it's for your mind. When you see the body and the heart, and then they have what it is. So like thinker. So they were kids there just reading them. There's a few leaders that have brought the oils back to their kids, and the kids are so excited. And they smell so good. Like, I don't have kids. I'm just going to be using these myself. They're so good. I like them more than so many of our blends. Brave smells like Arise. It has that like really citrusy smell. The packaging is like textured, so like it won't slip out of your hand. It's brilliant. Like they're so good. Rescuer is like the kids' version of Deep Blue, and it smells like Deep Blue, but like a softer Deep Blue, but like more spearminty than wintergreen. Stronger is their version of frankincense, and it's of their version of On Guard. It's Litsea, frankincense, cedarwood, and rose. It's so amazing. Oh gosh. Like, I mean, I can't even tell you my favorite one. I think I love them all. Steady smells sort of like Forgive, which is, I mean, they're all coconut oil. They have magnolia, which is funny, balsam fir, amyris. It's like a sweeter, and they're more like accessible scents. Like I can tell that they're for kids because they're more like obvious scents, if that makes sense. Does that make sense? And yeah, and Thinker, like I was wearing this for the whole Sunday. It's like a peppermint, vetiver, rosemary, clementine. This, oh my God, it's so good. Okay, so that's it, guys. Expect more information. Elena took amazing notes. She's going to share them with us. She's going to watch. She's such a crazy student. She's such a geek. I love it. She's going to redo all her notes and share them on Essential Practice. I'm going to do the same. And I'm going to see some of you maybe Tuesday. And that's it. I'm going to let you go, guys, now. So let's unmute yourselves and say bye. Oopsie, unmute.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Lots of love.
Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Bye, thanks, Jen.
Bye, thank you. And